Ladies and gentlemen, there is a certain weed currently sweeping through the northeastern part of Kenya politics. As President William Ruto currently, through his shadow gaming, has made it his business to ensure that all the leaders from the northeastern part of Kenya are puppets of his own game. But you might ask me a question. Why am I saying this? Now, should I remind you that 2 days ago, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Police detained the Garrisa governor, Nadif Jama, over corruption scandal revolving on the mismanagement and disappearance of 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, let me ask you this question. Why now? And why Garrisa? Today, as we speak now, the reports that are currently circulating on social media is that the DCI have issued an arrest warrant of the ISIOLO governor, Abdi Guyo, over the allegations of plotting the kidnapping and the torture of Isiolo County Chief Officer of Health, Abdurrahman Mohammed. Now, one thing I will remind you, the impeachment of one Abdi Rahman, the impeachment of one county governor of Isiolo County, Abdi Guyo, he survived an impeachment recently, about a month ago, where the Senate went ahead to vote in his favor, and that is after the intervention of President William Ruto. One thing we all know, Ruto runs the Senate and he runs the National Assembly. I mean, the executive controls the legislature. Now, going forward, the next on the chopping board of President William Ruto seems to be the Wajir governor, and not only the Wajir governor. The other person is the MANDERA governor, Mohammed Aden Khalif. You all know the governor recently went against President William Ruto and the government of Kenya in admitting the presence of Jubaland forces in Mandera town and called upon the sanctioning of a military operation against the Jubaland forces, which was against President William Ruto's will and wish. The government, as we speak, has officially denied the presence of the Jubaland forces in Mandera town. Remember, the statement made recently by the Cabinet Secretary of Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen. He said that he doesn't believe that there are foreign troops or foreign militia group, that there is a foreign militia group from Somali or from Jubaland that is currently taking over Mandera town. But the governor went ahead to say that Jubaland forces have taken control of about three quarter of Mandera County. Now, that means that the governor actually went ahead to say that President William Ruto and the government of Kenya can go ahead and deny, but for him and for the sake of the people of Mandera, he isn't going to do so. Now, I have named how many governors? I've named the governor of Garrisa, the governor of Isiolo, the governor of Mandera, and the person that is next on the chopping board is the governor of Wajir County. Now, this is what is happening. You might ask yourself, why is Northeastern currently becoming a very, very hot topic in the Republic of Kenya politics? President William Ruto does not want to accept that there are Jubaland forces, militia, that are currently residing where? Residing in Isiolo County. Why? Because President William Ruto, during his tour in northeastern part of Kenya in February, he went ahead to make the declaration of waiving away the the mandatory ID vetting for Somalia immigrants that were seeking the citizenship of the Republic of Kenya, and he said that everybody deserves the right to be Kenyan as long as they are in Kenya. Now, this has currently caught the attention of the whole nation because as we speak, the Jubaland forces have taken over Mandera. Now, allow me to quote a certain tweet or publication made by blogger Maverick Aoko on these current happenings in Mandera, where we all know and we as Kenyans have all joined hands in calling upon the sanctioning of a military operation to kick out Jubaland forces in Mandera. Now, Aoko, back last year, back in January, in February when Ruto did this, she said this. Sources informed that the chiefs who were abducted, they are registering Somalis across border ndio waje kuvuka for 2027. When they are done, utasikia ati President secures release of 5 chiefs from Mandera. Northeastern will be is Tharaka Nithi age. Now that is what Aoko said. And true to our words, 5 chiefs who were abducted, the government secured their release. Are we together? After securing their release, we have never been told on an operation or a military operation where where the Somalian Al-Shabaab militia group was raided and these chiefs were plucked from an Al-Shabaab camp. No, we have never been told about that. But they just reappeared out of the blues that we were told that they were rescued. Now she says, the Jubaland Mujahideen have come to ask for the guns they were promised by Ruto when he went ahead to agree with them of the mass registration of Jubaland people as residents of the Republic of Kenya and as citizens of Kenya. Now, agreement was that in exchange for arms, they will allow their people sneak in and register as voters. That's why you see Murkomen dithering. Sugoi went slow on arms after Washington threatened sanctions against President William Ruto on his relationship with militia groups in Somalia. Now, I have told you, the leaders of the northeastern part of Kenya, only 2 of them have spoken against this. And that is the governor of Mandera and the senator of Mandera, the 2 of them. Now, these people had to speak. But to avoid any other leader from northeastern part of Kenya from joining hands with the governor and speaking in one voice, calling for the government to act, or they will push themselves to a point that they will have to defend their own land, is what Ruto is doing. He is making sure that they have problems with the government, that he himself can sweep in and make things smooth for them to avoid them defecting from Kenya Kwanza and becoming rivals for the sake of their people. And that is why you see all this drama. Garrisa governor in custody, ISIOLO governor being an arrest warrant has been issued. We know how the government of Kenya works. Ruto controls everything. We saw that Ruto came in to save Sakaja from an impeachment. You have seen him save other governors from impeachment or from any cases that were trying to hurt them. So Ruto is currently concentrating on the northeastern part of Kenya. And this is to ensure that these people don't speak against the presence of Jubaland forces in the northeastern Kenya. Because these people, Ruto and Aden Duale, their head game is to make sure that they will use northeastern part of Kenya to secure their win. And if they can't use it to secure their win, possibly the Jubaland forces will start fighting with Kenyans in the northeastern part of Kenya. And if that happens, Kenya will be forced now to act and send military troops there. Now the country will be in war. And if the country is in war, then how can an election happen? So the general election will have to be postponed. It's upon time you reason, and it's upon time you think through the image and the shadows and the games of President William Ruto. For now, that's what's up. Tell me what you think about this. Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. Subscribe.